Plants provide two important components to all living organisms. They are food and oxygen, which help to sustain life on Earth. But where and how do plants get their food? And how is it converted into energy? Plants consist of organisms such as trees, herbs, bushes, grasses, vines, ferns, and mosses. Plants make their own food, which means that all plants are producers in the trophic level of organisms, starting from the producers, or plants, to primary consumers, then secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, and quaternary consumers. Plants, being the foundation of the source of food that each level depends on, decomposes at the end, convert dead bodies into nutrients for plants to use, with 10% of energy being transferred to each level. Most plants do not consume other living creatures, besides the carnivorous plants like the Venus flytrap, which needs insects in order to get nutrients that are not available in the surrounding environment. However, 99.8% of all plants are producers. They grow fruits, vegetables, and grains for all living things to consume. The sun is the very first source of life. It releases powerful solar rays that keep the planet warm and help plants survive. The sun's solar rays include gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet radiation, visible light, infrared radiation, microwaves, and radio waves. Solar rays emit huge bursts of electromagnetic radiation. The energy emitted by a solar flare is more than 1,000,000 times greater than the energy from a volcanic explosion on Earth. Solar rays lose energy as they pass by Earth's magnetic field and atmosphere, making it less harmful and beneficial for plants and animals. Plants absorb solar energy through chlorophyll, which are plant cells found in leaves. This process is called photosynthesis. These are the layers of a leaf, microscopically. Inside the palisade cell, we can find the most important components of the plant, called the chloroplast. Chloroplasts produce energy through photosynthesis and oxygen release processes, which sustain plant growth and crop yield. The chemical formula for photosynthesis is 6CO2 plus 6H2O becomes C6H12O6 plus 6O2. 6CO2 at first being carbon dioxide and 6H2O being water. These are the first two reactants of the photosynthesis formula, meaning plants inhale carbon dioxide and water first in order to produce their food. Plants get carbon dioxide from the surrounding organisms, and they get water from rain and absorb it through their roots underground. These two sources make up the first two reactants of the photosynthesis process. After plants absorb these resources, their products are C6H12O6 being glucose, which is a 6-carbon sugar that is the building block of starch and cellulose, and 6O2 being oxygen, which is released as waste after the photosynthesis process. This is what makes plants significantly important. They provide oxygen, which in turn is taken by animals and people to breathe. Glucose is a sugar that plants make from carbon dioxide and water. However, because glucose is a 6-carbon sugar molecule, it is very too large for plants to digest. As a result, plants break down glucose into smaller atoms in the process of cellular respiration. Similarly, cellular respiration is a process our cells and animal cells go through to provide themselves with power. It's a process how all living things derive energy from the food they consume, specifically glucose, which most foods contain. Plants and all organisms depend on cellular respiration to break down the large glucose molecule into smaller pieces of atoms, known as adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. The chemical formula for cellular respiration is C6H12O6 plus 6O2 becomes 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus ATP. C6H12O6 being glucose and 6O2 being oxygen. The results of these two components are 6CO2 being carbon dioxide and 6H2O being water. Finally, the last step is ATP, a building block of energy that plants can now use. In conclusion, photosynthesis is a complex and vital process that occurs in plants, algae, and some bacteria. It involves the conversion of light energy into chemical energy in the form of glucose and oxygen, which are essential for the survival of organisms that rely on them. Photosynthesis provides the foundation for the food chain, allowing plants to produce their own food and provide energy for the entire ecosystem. It also plays a critical role in reducing atmospheric carbon dioxide, which contributes to improving the global climate change.